Good day. Bob here at Weldnrust.
And Chris.
Of course he has to show up because this is his project, this is his e-bike. Notice I said his because I really don't want to do a whole lot with this one, but it's his passion, let him have some fun. So he finally has some money, he finally bought some parts. That's the problem, you got projects, you got to kind of spend money on parts. Anyways, before we get into that, one of the things we got to do now is, this is an old CB 750. Yeah. And the funny part is it was a later one. It's not like it's CB750E, I think it was.
Something like that.
But anyways, they have a bolt-in frame where part of the frame bolts in. And we don't really want that. We're looking at putting in a battery tray. But what we did was
I already tapped it in.
yeah, you go ahead of me before the camera, thanks. Anyways, we had the sleeve made up and we tapped it in. He tapped it in.
You're welcome.
So the idea,
Less work for you.
that's right. This thing's gonna slide in here, this is gonna go in here, and we're just gonna weld it all solid, same as back here. Because the idea of a bolt-in frame section really doesn't appeal to me, it doesn't appeal to you. It's your bike, so.
And realistically, there's a whole lot of motor that was probably adding rigidity to a bolt-in frame that's no longer there. So, yep, it's getting welded.
Yep, more cut off to do, but that's all detail stuff. All right.
Cut, weld, rust, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'll let you have the fun of getting it welded. Chris,
Well,
what's the plan?
game plan, stitch solid around here, basically melt the center steel into the sleeve. I tighten these two nuts up here, so it's going to be tack, tack, tack. Take the nuts off, cut the stud off, plug weld, plug weld, plug weld, stitch solid. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get too far until we get the welder set up, but that's next on the agenda.
Yeah, on the to-do list. Grab my some of the tools out of the way so I don't burn.
Oh, you don't like tripping over tools when you're working?
No. Because then I end up getting mad when I trip over, throw them, and then I don't know where I put them, and then I'm mad at myself for throwing them, and I don't know
Yeah, it's
where
kind of fun to
they
watch you get mad.
Yeah, I get that. Whoa, bifocal setting in here.
Oh, you don't like that?
Well,
I
everything
love those
looks like
things.
it's cross-eyed in here, man.
Yeah. Well, you can take it out.
Jeez.
Oh, I use them. I love those things. They work
That's what you do.
beautifully.
Here you go. Here's your bifocals.
Yeah.
I can see
These
perfectly.
work awesome.
Whew.
For those of us who have lousy eyes.
And for those of us who don't look through it.
Yeah, your time's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Did we dial it in right first time? Don't look at it with bare eyes.
We didn't just dial it in right first time. I couldn't set that better if I tried. I'm gonna grab like a little zip saw. We can zip those guys off.
Oh!
Like that.
Let's see what we got. Share my little electric. Oh, there it is.
Oh. Oh yeah, here we go. Big death wheel.
Well, I mean, it's a little death wheel, not a big death wheel.
Alright.
Well, if you're worried about it, I'll use the big death wheel.
You gotta do something. It's your
I'll use the
channel.
little death wheel, but I need some power.
It's your channel. You gotta do something on the camera.
Look me up, my man.
Oh yeah, ride it, Ivan.
Yeah, I might not have guards on it, but I always wear hearing protection. I like my ears.
What?
Oh, it's this thing. I made this thing ages ago. What it was, it's an adapter, so I can use the leftover cutoff wheels that get worn out and adapt it to this thing. But you can't get a guard on; it's too big for that. But oh, does it work great? The only thing is don't put it down while it's running.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy welding.
There. Can't say you didn't do anything. Yeah, it's a spot right where it goes from that flat plate down to the tube.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit the tube, because had all that heat in the flat plate, as soon as I hit the tube, boom, right through.
So now you're filling the hole.
Yep.
Well, I'm sitting around here doing absolutely nothing useful.
Oh,
I think I might do something. I just had a thought. 'Cause I can still do this while you're doing that.
You know what else we might need to? Because this part's almost done.
Yeah.
Flat bar. Start rigging up our.
Yeah, the battery tree. That's what I was thinking. I was taking some measurements.
Well,
see what
that's
I got
why I
for
brought the batteries. I was
Yeah.
thinking if you have them 3 wide, and then it's 14 by 7.
Well, you know how wide it's going to be. It's going to be this wide, 9 and about a quarter of an inch. Maybe actually
Well, no,
9
it was
inches.
9 and 3. It
That's
was
the
basically
tray.
9 and 3/4. It was 9 and 3/4 width on all 3 batteries.
Oh, really?
9 and 3/4.
This is going to be fun. We may have to do some modifications.
Well, we don't need those
Yeah.
motor mounts.
Well, no. You see, this is one thing about trying to do something that was never intended to be done. We don't need the mounts, but we still kind of want to use it. What we could do is we could cut them back so we can fit the 9 and 3/4 of an inch in. In fact, we could probably make it, we can go almost 10 inches.
Yeah, we're still thinking about making it bolt-in, right?
Unless, I thought about putting the batteries down in, which is preferred.
Yeah.
But if they sit just a hair above, then the tabs can go down, and then if it was a hair wider, it wouldn't matter.
You do realize how low this thing sits when it's not on the tripod. It's probably better that it is up a bit higher. Just
yeah, I
that
see what
way.
you're saying.
If I ever were to hit something stupid going down the road, I got a little bit more clearance and it's less likely to take it at the center line of the batteries.
You hit something stupid going down the road?
Oh, I
I'd
do
never
a lot
do
of
that.
stupid things, man.
I know. Wonder where the heck you get that from. Can't be from your father.
Yeah, we got enough width. Once we cut these guys out,
Yeah.
those tabs out.
I'm just kind of. Let me double check the width of the batteries.
You
again.
do also
Last
know
thing.
that if we're going to do bolt-in trade,
Mhm.
as long as we, if we were to keep that in mind, we can actually use these 4 holes
Yeah,
as a mounting point for the tray itself.
that's what I was gonna do.
Even if we build it up higher, like a mounting tab and then have it.
Yes, we have to go higher. It just dawned on me.
But if you keep this kind of angle like this, because they are lead acid batteries, and you want them relatively level just so that way you're not having issues with the back battery spilling or whatever. Like they're
It
sealed,
was
but
14.5 inches, you said, right?
yeah, because it was 7 1/4.
Okay.
I think
I want to go forward now. I like because let me think. All right. Brain's still working. Sometimes that does that. Because if we were to cut literally this whole thing off, you've got even more space. Because then you can actually have room for a nut. And again, if this sits above, it's easier to access with a tab with a bolt that goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Same as on the other side.
Mhm.
Same for here.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was going underneath, because this thing, they're not obviously not level.
No,
And
but
you-
if anything,
Tip
this
it
whole
forward.
bike's going to be tipped back like this. So because they're tipped
you're
like
right.
this,
Oh.
you'd actually want this
Hey.
guy slightly higher to keep the batteries relatively
How
level.
much work is it when we drop this thing down? Because I want to see if these things are actually level at the points. You got.
I'd imagine they would be, because this thing,
takes 2 seconds,
it's
right?
going to be less level than it would be factory because of how much drop
Takes
they
2
have.
seconds to drop it. Okay. We'll flip the thing down. You sit on it, and I'll just check it with a level.
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing is, sometimes related people don't work this well together.
Well, we've only been doing this for about 15 minutes here, dude. So
Yeah, you're right.
we got all day today. And we're
Guess what?
pretty well level.
It has to, no, that's gonna come up to get level.
Well, this is what I was saying. If we have like
It'll put a little,
we put a plate to offset it to bring it up.
and you got level batteries.
Yeah.
Want to bounce a little bit? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna change much. No, that's perfect. So what we'll do is, before I actually get too involved, we are gonna cut. No, it doesn't matter. We don't even have to cut them because the tabs can actually hang down below. That's going to sit
The
up.
tabs can basically just bolt onto the side, come up, and then weld onto the base of the tray.
The tray sits, yeah.
The tray sits here, and then the backs can come up however high we want. Because there's nothing else going in here except the batteries. So
Right.
realistically, we could have the tray come up all the way up like that if we want.
No, we don't want to. We want the tray. We want the batteries
As
up,
low as
lower.
possible, right, for your center of gravity. But realistically, though, if we need to bring it up, say even that much, no big deal. We got all the room in the world to do it.
Yeah, remember the saying, keep it simple?
Mm-hmm.
Simple tabs.
Yeah, tabs come up. That's how you bolt
So
the
we
frame
can
in.
go ahead and build the bottom of the box, and then once we build the box, we can make up the bottom box, make up the tabs, mount the tabs, put the box on top, tack weld it in. So
What do you mean tack weld it?
if you make up tabs, like
Yeah.
angle brackets, okay, you can literally bolt it onto the frame. Okay,
Yeah,
have
and
it
then
sit
make
there.
your base
Box
of the frame.
sits on top,
Yep.
and once the box is sitting where you want it, you put some tack welds in, or
Yeah.
plug welds, however we're going to do it, doesn't
Yep.
matter. And then everything is. Unbolt it, out we go. You almost,
Easy.
we almost think you knew what we were doing.
Why do you think I was like, no, I know what we're doing, man?
You always think you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you
You
said
were
the
not.
same thing when it came to these shocks not working the way they're set up.
Which really surprised me.
Uh-huh.
Geometry-wise says, no, that shouldn't work.
But it did.
Yeah, don't flip through our cord, you won't reach with the welder.
Alright. Now I'm gonna finish welding this.
Yeah, enough interruptions?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
back's
can get to
done.
work on something else. I'll go start your battery box.
Yeah, find some material for it, and those batteries are probably, I'm gonna say, ballpark, we're looking at, I'm guesstimating around 70 to 80 pounds for the whole box.
No way.
For all all 6 of those batteries.
I ain't
Yeah.
that strong. I picked up the box of it and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but you almost killed over in the process. Plus, I was running. I was lifting 80-pound bars of steel all last night. That's what I'm saying. Now they're about 80 pounds for the whole set.
Well, maybe I got a little more strength than I did.
It's more awkward because there's no handles and you're not able to lift from anything really easy. So that's why it feels heavier than it is.
All right.
Woo. Sparkies. Oh yeah.
Now, do we need to have plastic dividers between the?
I was thinking at the very least, front and back. Like the front row and the back row have a divider in between.
All right. Well, let's take some more measure. Well, we're not as constrained with the size of the plot, so that helps.
Oh, I'm probably blocking the camera with that. Oh well. Yeah.
He's gonna do more work like later. If you buy replacement batteries that are lithium, are they the exact same size?
Rough.
Bolted replacement.
This is why the tray's got to be relatively generic. They're about the same size.
Okay.
That's why I'm thinking for an actual, for like the
You
sides
want
of
it
it.
a little bit bigger to give yourself some
Yes,
space.
and if these guys are bigger, the other ones end up being smaller, all the better. I got more room for insulation or padding.
Right.
These ones, as long as we can get a bit of insulation between it, so there's some cushion, then.
The only cushion I was going to think of doing is some plastic, which I got tons of.
Mm-hmm.
No, all that stuff that I ripped off the treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
Doodles of it.
There we go. Almost like I know what I'm doing.
Well, you're pushing your luck on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you have a saying, as long as you've got good strength and penetration in your welds, you're fine. Any little cosmetically, well, Bondo hides all sins.
I'm grinding it flush and hiding it and grinding all these guys off at some point, just not this year.
No,
Because I don't need it to be nice looking for the spring and summer. I want it to just run.
future Chris's problem.
Yeah! This is why future Chris is always yelling on that past Chris. Ugh.
Okay. So we're done for this for now?
At the moment,
Alright.
keep the camera rolling, man. We're not done with this fire.
I know. Okay, let's go back over this again.
Alright,
So,
you got your mounting tab. This isn't it, but it's just for discussion's purpose, okay?
right.
It bolts up here, and then we're gonna have our tray come across. Well, similar like this, right?
That's what I'm thinking, except not that heavy a material.
Obviously. And honestly, you just need a piece of flat bar like that. You can have it mount whatever height you want.
If I'm
Drill a
using
hole,
18,
and then take your.
I don't think I have enough 16 gauge. That'd be ideal. We do possibly have. I don't like using 8. It's almost too thick.
Well, you have flat bar stock just to use as a frame, and then you can just use sheet metal. So you get your tabs. Make your frame out of
I
it.
got a pretty good idea how it's gonna go. Okay.
You might need a center one and another one along the center line of where the batteries sit, and then you can just cover the top of it in sheet metal.
Yeah. You realize I kind of listened to you, but I already have another idea what I'm gonna do.
Is it more or less work?
Less.
Well, then by all means.
Okay. No, my thought was these tabs. We thought about cutting them, narrowing them, getting like that. Says, why don't you just leave them?
Yeah, we'll just leave
It's adding
them.
extra weight, but I don't think
This thing doesn't hurt.
we're talking like ounces.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we make up our tabs that fit there, and then we can run through bolts, and it's less work.
Yep.
So once I make the tray, we'll form up a tray, because the tray itself probably doesn't have. Oh, two-piece tray because you have a top and a bottom, right?
What do you mean you have a top?
Well, you have a cover plate, cover of the tray. See, if you have the cover, that's most of the tray itself that holds the batteries doesn't have a high lip. It's easy to load the batteries in it. Okay, and then you have the cover plate sits on top.
I don't want a cover plate per se.
No.
I'd rather have handles like a side rail or sort of a handle piece, because in the winter, this bike's going to sit in my garage, which isn't heated. All I have to do is disconnect the batteries, positive and negative, unbolt the 4 bolts for the tray, take the whole tray and the batteries down into my basement where it's warm, and then in the winter, they're not freezing out in the elements.
Okay.
And if I want to replace the batteries, while there I go, I have the tray, I can just bring the tray and the batteries out and replace the batteries, whatever.
With respect to building of the tray, if you have high sides on it, it's taking the batteries in and out could be a bit of a pain.
But if you're taking the entire tray out,
Oh yeah, you could still do that.
then you don't have to worry about taking the batteries in and out because of the high sides.
Because that's the other thought I had, is if you had the tray that was a little bit lower, so you could still take the batteries out individually and then have another, I call it a cover,
Like
that
on
goes
the
in the
side or
top.
something?
Yeah, it would still attach to the tray, so you could still take the whole thing out as a unit.
So you know what we could do is we could basically build a tray. So like here's your tray that you got the base, and you got the one side, maybe the back side, and front side, and then the other side will just basically be the cover and the other side, and they can bolt together. So then you can take the whole unit out as one big unit, and then when you want to take it out to disassemble the batteries or connect it and all that jazz, you can just take the one
Or
side.
3 sides.
Yeah, 3 sides.
3 sides and then 2 sides,
Yeah.
top and a side.
Yeah.
And this way you can pull the batteries out.
Yep.
Okay, I like
Although I'm thinking it'd probably be better to have the 3 sides this way. It can be either this guy or this guy, but the idea is because if you're going to take the tray off, the cover off in the bike to remove the batteries in the bike, you're doing it from the side and not from the front.
which is a lot easier. Gotcha.
And considering we're doing 2 rows of 3 instead of,
You've been thinking this out, haven't you?
I spent a lot of time
It's been
staring
living in
at
your
this
head
thing.
for like
a year
months,
almost,
hasn't it?
a year. We did
Okay.
this November of 2023. We started this project, and we are October almost of 24. I've had time.
Okay, I got you. All right, but I think we've got a game plan anyway.
Oh, of course we do.
Okay. Are we done welding on this one yet?
What, that lower bar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
That's-
Do we want to start on the kickstand?
Yeah, that would probably be easier and ideal.
Yeah, because this thing, well, the stand itself, you see the
I
way.
had an idea here, okay?
Okay.
I had an idea for that, because you were talking about doing it like what you got, but what I'm thinking, the easiest way to deal with it is because it comes here and it stops at this guy here.
Right.
What if we were just cut it up and make it flush about another,
Not flush. Oh, you want to go forward more.
just go
Okay,
forwards
watch it.
more.
You might not want to do that because as you go forward, you lose spring pressure holding it up. Because this is under tension. You want some tension to hold it in position. As you go forward, you lose that tension. You don't want your spring falling off either. You can lose a little bit if you want to go forward a little bit more. But I'm not sure if that's going to be giving you much of an advantage.
If it came up,
That's not going to shorten it up. It would have to come up a lot.
put it this way, go the inverse.
You know what?
The opposite of this angle,
Let's find out. All right.
I'm doing this from the wrong side, so that doesn't
Okay.
help.
Lean it. Look at that angle.
Ah, yeah, it ain't gonna
No,
work.
no. This thing is going to be like stupid short.
Yeah.
You almost have to cut it to here. I say almost. I would start cut. I would.
And
cut
this is
off
like
here.
almost still vertical, dude. Like,
I know.
if you want it to lean back
That's
more.
why I changed my
we'll
design.
All right, we'll do your way. You're right, I'm wrong. There, it's on
Can I
camera.
hear that again?
It's on camera. You can listen all you want when you edit it.
You know,
Let's
Sam
go.
and I have these conversations too. Says, yes, you're right. And I say, dear, can I hear that again?
Well, you got it on camera, so you're lucky. You
Yeah,
can listen
well.
to it as much as you want.
Anyways.
Better not be a Christmas card.
All right. Do you want me to hook up my wheel of death and I'll cut off that little bit?
Sure.
And we'll go from there.
Do you want me to put this back up on the stand so we're not babysitting
If
holding
you
it?
don't mind putting it back on, lifting it up, taking it off. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I do mind because I'm getting lazy. This is a lot like work.
Oh, good baby.
Mark,
All right.
I'm having issues.
I know you have issues.
We can edit that out.
No.
Or it'll be a blooper reel.
Nah, we just know you have issues. Okay.
I'm having issues. Give me a hand, man.
Hang on. I need my coffee.
Hey, you think I'm having issues?
I'll see. When did it start? At the age of 2.
Ah, there we go. All right, I need a smoke.
All right. Do I have enough cord for this? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it drives people nuts. Unguarded wheel of death, and I put my favorite protection on. Always got to be careful with these things. You're right. These things can be rather nasty. yet. Not bad for a guess. Definitely got to come down some more. Oh, just for the record, when this thing is finished, this is gonna go. Kind of useless for this, but it's really handy for fabricating. All right. Up and down seems what we ever do with this thing. Now, I may have to shorten this some more because you're going to want a stub plate on there as well. Okay, so let's see if I got some material sitting around here. That'll do. You're going to add an extra 1/8 of an inch with a foot plate. What do you think?
Hang on 2
Now,
seconds.
you're going to put some weight on the inside of it with the batteries. And even if I'm standing on it, really doesn't make a heck of a lot of difference, does it?
Is that thick enough, or is that just kind of...
Yeah, it's 3/32. I was hoping for 1/8. I can still use that instead. So what we'll do is we'll cut the foot plate. Cut a piece of this off. Maybe make it a little bit prettier than that.
Mm-hmm.
And by right, you're supposed to have a little bar coming out of here. We can always add it on later if need be. Here, you guys at home can get a better view now. So, yeah, the sand's sitting like that. It's not falling over. That's the important thing. Alrighty, so found a piece of tubing with a hole in it, and basically it's going to work like a female die. What we're doing is you get a nice funky little shape that I want. The kickstand's actually going to mount to here, but what I want is a slight curve. I don't want it dead flat. So what we're going to do is take our little trusty ball peen. We give it just a little bit. Not quite like mine, so I want a little bit more on here. So it's not going to be so flat. That's all I want. Just a bit of curve. Lovely. Okie dokie. Now you can see where we got the little foot here. And we're gonna give Chris the job of welding it. So if the welds break and he dies, well, sorry.
It's a kickstand!
Huh, you think it's not gonna kill you? Could fly off and hit somebody.
Really, out of all the stuff I've welded, it's going to be the kickstand. The
That
little
does you in.
tab.
It's the little one that does you in.
Hey, you got your eyes checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, solid enough to try it. All right.
Solid enough to try.
Oops, sorry. I guess it wasn't solid enough to try. You want to try that again? Maybe give it one extra tack, only because it has to be strong enough.
You know what? I trust your judgment. That's where it sits. It fits, it sits.
I love your sense of adventure.
Just move your hand, I'll finish it.
Yeah, you don't want to weld my hand to it?
It's gonna be fine.
Oh, you know what happened. We're running the electricity. We're going to have to take it apart and clean it eventually.
What, that?
Nothing that a hammer can't fix.
Oh. And no sense of adventure.
Well, it's a kick. Well, it is a kickstand, so kick it. Yeah. Look at that. You don't have the levers, that's why it's a lot more hard to move, but yeah. Yeah, that works. Hang on, I want to put some squirts of stuff in there because that's just getting annoying.
Works fine. Well, when you're standing on it.
Oh, that works a little better now, doesn't it?
Especially now that it's all hot.
Oh yeah, it'll penetrate a lot better with the heat. Smoking. There you go. Job number 2 done. How many more we got left? 2 more. So for your entertainment, guys, how many guys does it take to take a tire off a rim?
Does it take to change a tire on a motorcycle?
Okay. Actually, most of the struggling is done because now they're just right at the tail end of it.
You watch the super bike racing.
Oh, man.
In,
All right.
catch them. They'll get a flat once in a while, eh? Like usually they lower the tire right out and it just goes.
Okay.
And so they run two races back to back, eh? So they'll race one and then they'll race the next. And they'll have to change the tire. And you'll watch them. they'll
Success.
change the tire just like that.
Okay.
But
The reason we did
they've
this
probably done it 1,000
was for that. We need it for that.
times.
They move that up all around, don't they?
I did kind of give her a good.
You can never give it too much lube, my friend.
Yeah, everything slides better with it.
That's right. You can never have too much lube.
You can't control what other people say. Just warning you guys already. And it's really fun watching this guy struggle. I could put the camera down and help him, but this is more fun this way. And we got a few other guys in here that can help instead.
Found out about that.
As you saw earlier.
I almost got it. He wasn't playing the banjo, although it looked like he was holding.
Yeah,
There was a guy behind was reaching through and
Went
playing.
through and playing the piano. I saw that and I didn't know whether I could believe that or not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Hollywood tries all sorts.
well, that's the thing, eh?
Yeah.
The
Most of it got
actor
it actually.
Just to let you know, periodically we have people over here as an open house.
couldn't carry it to
But you
him.
never know who's gonna show up.
Right? And so that's how they got
And this is
around
what
that.
makes
The
it
guy that
entertaining
actually
around
knew
here.
how to play was right behind him, and he was the one that was playing. When I saw that, I thought, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Run faster, I hear that. No, roll faster.
roll fast.
I hear that.
I hear a banjo. Roll.
Squeal
Roll, fast roll.
Yeah, squeal like a
This is the
pig.
hard part.
Yes, sir.
Since you're recording, you should probably ask me if I remembered to put the tire on the right side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never even thought about that. You're right.
It is.
So it's
And
going to have to
that
come
rim
off
only
now.
sits in the frame one way because the power cord has to be on the left side of the bike because that's where the sprocket goes. The
And
brake
you had a
caliper-
50-50 chance of getting it right.
Oh no, I had 100%. I just actually paid attention before I did this. I just figured since you're recording, you might want to bring this up.
More than
because
just a pretty face.
Yeah.
There's actually a brain in
there's an
there.
arrow on both sides, it's pointing this way, right?
Yeah.
When it's
Oh,
on
look
the
at that.
bike, it's gonna sit this way, rotate that way. So I did put it on the right side. It's just, you might want to mention that since you're recording, and it could have been a good gotcha moment if I screwed it up.
I would have had fun with that.
What does happen?
Maybe it's a good thing I didn't mention it, but too bad you were actually paying attention and figured this out. I am proud of you for figuring it out, though.
Oh, I know about it. It's just this thing. Staggering.
I'm always
Just a little.
Well, it's like a run flat tire on a car. The sidewall is a lot stiffer than it.
Well, it's a motorcycle. It's for cornering. That's why they got to be stiffer. They're not radial tires.
I imagine it has something to do with the way they lap the belts inside, eh?
Ah.
They're
almost at
changing
that
the
point.
belts and stuff like that.
Traction.
In a certain
Basically.
way, Like,
I'll hold this one
of
because
course,
it's
you
sliding
got
on you.
stress.
You're supposed to use 2 pry bars at least. A third one's
There's a
handy.
big one. You know, probably want this
I
one.
want this one because it's got the hook, and I'm not slipping on my.
Fun fact, I actually modified that one to put the hook on it just for that reason.
Slide it forward now.
Yeah, because it's got to go in the well, the bead.
Well, I guess the brakes aren't on all the time.
That's a steel. Let's not do that. Only because that's a steel.
If you got lube, why are you worried about being gentle?
Because it's an aluminum rim and that's a steel punch, and the last thing I want is this thing getting cracked or split or broken.
I wonder if I have to edit that comment out. Maybe. Maybe not.
Since this has the hook, you want to use that one up here or just hold it.
Basically.
Would you-
want to bring it over here?
Would you like some help?
No, I want you to bring that over here so we can explain to the people watching what's going on in case they haven't done a tire swap before. Get over to this side.
I don't think so.
When you're putting the tire on, you got the bead where it sits on the lip in here.
Mm-hmm.
You press it down, the inside of the rim is deeper, allows
Yep.
the tire to shift forwards that way.
Right.
So what you got to do is essentially keep it bent down inside that area as much as possible. So while you're going
As you're
along,
trying.
the whole rim's gonna, or the tire's gonna shift that way into the.
Right.
There's usually a point where it starts to get a little bit stiff and doesn't want to shift over.
I'm sure you professional tire changers out there right now are having a really good laugh. Enjoy.
I'm doing it the hard way because I like doing things the hard way.
Right. Oh. My son, man after my own heart.
I'm not a professional tire changer by any means.
That's not entirely true. I know you used to get paid for doing it once in a while.
On automotive, like car tires.
Well,
I had a
that's-
car tire machine, but
Technically professional.
this one.
Okay. You want some help?
Wow.
I'll tell you
If
what,
you're done
Lauren.
recording.
Nope, I'm not done recording because Lauren is going to just nice hold the camera steady and put in there. All right. Because what we're going to do.
Well, the cameraman's not gonna get his hands dirty.
All right, you're in the well.
Yeah.
Go with that.
There we go.
Now this is where the third one comes in awfully handy if you've got one.
Do you want to use one of these instead?
You're worried about the rim, aren't you?
I am. You know how much this rim's worth?
Too much.
Yeah. There's a reason it took me like almost a year to get to this point.
Right, that's why. Now, if you can use that, then I'll use that. You got it?
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't understand why they don't come in 3s and only 2s.
Watching us struggle.
Right. Because then when you have the third one, you have the one anchored.
Well, see, if they sell them in pairs and you need 3,
You have to buy another pair.
and then you have 4, but you had
Always
to.
have a
So
spare.
now you got to get like really close.
Then you would never need that spare.
Yeah, never. You'll never find it when you need it. But
Okay.
Where did I put it?
You want a little bit of spray on that, just to.
Oh, yeah. You still like to spray, not the lube, huh?
That's why you always want.
No, there's lots of lube on it. This is just.
Okay. I'm hoping it'll pop onto the next one.
bet you
I'm trying to get this. I might have to switch back to this one because there's not. Oh, hang on. I'm trying not to mark the rim.
Wait till they start disappearing.
It's more of I don't want to crack or split.
I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about scratching it.
when your
No, your
kids
tools
start,
only disappear when you got kids.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Right
That's
on.
why when they, as soon as they, like the Mennonites have it ready, right.
There we go.
There.
And that's how you do it.
14 or
Okay.
something, they send them
The
off.
very different.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so a little heads up when I do these. It's in the holder.
Right?
Makes it easier for doing it by hand.
Actually, if I put the 440 in it, I'm gonna put the.
And the other thing I point out is, sorry about the background noise, there's people here. Anyways, I like to use coolant on taps.
How much money?
I run CNC equipment for a living, and we do this all the time. I've done thousands of holes with coolant, not oil, and I find coolant actually works better. In fact, I had to prove it to a guy once when we tried using oil. Use coolant. It works way better. At least that's been my experience.
Well, see, you know, he talked about that.
And I always like hand tapping as opposed to power tapping, especially when using a hand tap, so I don't machine tap with hand taps.
And he told them in there that because of his experience and
So we had to move to the back deck because the guys in the shop, well, they're having a chat. So what this is, it's a metal plate which matches the bolt pattern of the controller. Okay, size-wise doesn't matter. I have to talk to the young guy. He's supposed to be the body man, and it still rocks. It needs to be flat, so we got to change that, flatten it out so it's perfectly flat, because this is a setup plate. And what we do is we've got 4 standoffs. The young guy's working on the other screws. He's got to shorten them a bit. And what we do is we use this plate to simulate the controller, because I do not want to be welding on the controller. I don't like this. This isn't fitting the way I want. So I'll probably clean up the threads again. Probably a little dirty. Because I know I went deep enough with the tap. Anyways, theory is, once we have standoffs on here, okay, shove this back on again so you can see it. It'll be more clear when we actually start showing you how it works. We tighten the 4 standoffs on, and we position this where we want it, and then weld these 4 standoff to the frame. So hopefully, when we take the bolts out, we mount this right up to the standoffs. Actually, it's actually going to have to go like this. Anyways, you get the idea, and it's going to make more sense soon. All right, so here's the plan. We got the standoffs where the plate is going to be.
Yeah, you know where it's sitting better than I do.
Yeah, we want this sitting level or slightly back, one or the other. It doesn't really matter. But the idea is center it so it's pretty. Center it this way. Once we figure out where it's going to go, yeah, it's going to touch. We're just going to fill this with weld.
Well, that's how they're going to have them attached anyway.
Yeah, well, if you don't weld, this ain't going to say attached, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the general plan, but you got a visual idea of where you got to mark.
Yeah.
Does this look level? Just eyeball it.
Yeah, if anything, it's tipped that way, and no, that's a good thing because you're going to
want
get
it?
more airflow coming underneath that
Cool.
controller.
All right, so you know where you got to clean that out?
Yeah,
you
I
clean
just
it out, we'll fit it
Hold
up.
that for 2.
Oh, well, fine.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, do that one. Okay.
Okay, and I'll just do the opposite side.
Right.
Like that.
You might need some juice for the air. All right. Yeah, now need an extra pair of hands. I think what I want to do, if I can hold it,
You can hold it.
is it looking? Oh, I know what I'm going to go by. Oh, I guess I don't have a choice. It kind of locks in where it's going to be, and it looks.
I didn't make that plate completely square with it. As long as those tubes are in there where they're supposed to be,
Right.
that controller's going to sit.
Well, it's
center.
going to, like, I'm kind of limited anyways
Yeah.
because we're on the angle like that. So
Most
this
of it'll
is-
be hidden
As
anyway.
long as you're happy with this is where you want it.
That's as good as it's going to get. Alright, well, I kind of need one of your. Like, even if you just move your hand here, I got it held. Just
All right. If I put my hand underneath here, and then hopefully I don't get screaming pain for getting zapped. If I was smart, I'd put gloves on.
Well, close your eyes.
Yeah, that too.
We're gonna get this battery tray kind of mocked up and put together.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is I want to make the tabs.
Because I mean, like, we're kind of running out of time. We're
I
already like
get
10
you.
after 3.
Just keep welding.
Alright, that should do it because it's not gonna have a whole lot of weight to it. That controller just kind of hangs out
How's
here.
that look?
Good enough.
Okay. Need you to hold that steady.
You line it up.
I will line it up. You hold it steady. Turn it this way. Up and like that. As usual when you're fighting.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just holding it.
Okay. Yeah, you just hold it right like that. This thing is going to fight you, so don't let it fight you. I love this shear. As long as we're square. See? Even eyeball chronometer says it's good. Lay out some more lines. We're going to cut 4 of them. And then we'll bend them accordingly. Stop. Okay. Now we got 4. Gotta straighten them out. But
I'm still trying to figure out what you're cutting up to.
all right. These things are, they ended up radius, but that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to turn them into tabs. We'll flatten them out, put a bend in them. I really don't know how long to make them yet, but we're going to put a hole in it, stick a hole in it, in all 4 of them. That's your mounting hole. And we're going to bend. They're going to be 2 different lengths. It's 2 different heights. And then we're going to figure out where it's going to bend.
Using this stuff?
No, we're going to bother with that. It's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth. Okay.
So that's where we're at. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get back after that. So it looks like the engineer did a little bit of a screw up. A minor thing, really. When I measured these and guessed I had, if you take a look, when the controller goes in, you got, seems to be lots of room. I agree. Didn't take into account the backbone here, which is a little bit lower. So that little bit of clearance I had, I needed more. A couple ways to fix it. I could put spacers in. I just don't like using spacers. Then we have to use longer screws again, and I have to replace the screws. Or this guy here takes a grinder.
And do some
Takes
constructive.
that. I'm really not too worried about strength. We can touch up with the weld if you want, or not worry too much about it.
Too worried about
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, that'll be an easy fix. Yeah. We notch the plastic, but I don't think we really want to do that. Now, before I get too ambitious, oh yeah, the wires, look where the wires go. Straight in, straight shot in. So you'll have plenty of room there. And this is tin, it can be just cut off. And then the wires can come up and out and there's room. I just hope there is. Otherwise we will be going to spacers later. Yeah. Blame the engineer. So as you see, Chris is working on this again. And what we've done is made up some tabs. Basically started with flat because we weren't sure where this was going to sit. And what we discovered is we want to keep it as low as possible. But one end is going to be a ½ inch higher than the other one. So we bent 2 of them up, or kid bent 2 of them up. And he bent those ones up. So the idea is we have to do a little bit of tweaking. But how come those things don't?
Because I bent them straight here, assuming we're going to cut off like half of that tab because you don't really need half that length.
You could keep it only for the strength to hold up the battery. But yeah.
Or we could do
I'm
that.
gonna get annoyed at you, and then I'm just gonna straighten it out a bit more.
Yeah, I can straighten it out too. I don't care. Whatever, man. Where's
And
the
then we shove these things in.
pass the nut over?
There's the bolt, and there's the nut. Look, there you go.
Oh, where's the other one? Oh, I got it up here.
That's what happened.
What?
The other one over there.
I think.
Oh, this one lines up a whole lot better.
Well, I put more effort into the front ones.
Yeah. So I think once we tap, what we'll do is, do we want to just drill these and rosette weld them?
Good.
That would probably work better.
If we're gonna do that, then we should just drill them out now while I tighten those up, and then we
What I'm gonna do, yeah, you're gonna.
I'll tighten those up.
You're gonna fix this one. This bent stupid crooked.
Oh, just tighten it up first, and then I can just tap it and get it.
You think it's gonna
while
move
it's
it?
up there.
Fine. Might have to get longer bolts. I don't know if this one's gonna hold. Nah, it's only hanging on by like a thread or 2. And that...
Get a longer bolt. You got
Yeah.
time. Get the other ones tightened up.
All right, get them tightened up.
What do we need? Like ½ inch wrench, probably.
I don't know what it is about not finding bolts.
Okay, just pointing out this little unit here. All it is basically is a flat plate with 4 sides built up. It's the battery tray. Pretty simple. That's why I didn't bother recording it, and I did it last night anyways. So, anyways, on with the show.
When you need them, and then they're all over the place.
The problem is I haven't got We need a replacement for the other one?
Nope.
Alright.
Just tap them in place.
Big enough hammer can fix anything.
Don't need a big hammer.
What if you want to use a big hammer? Because it's fun. Is it going to be a problem? We're going to need a wrench?
I got one. That doesn't mean it's gonna help any.
Oh, yeah. I need another wrench. I'll get a socket.
Yeah.
Corrosion on the bolts, and I don't feel like cleaning them right now. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's actually not bad. Did you hammer it? You
No.
must have done something.
I didn't do anything.
Just sits differently. Put it on top, see what it looks like.
Well, you got it all the way over, don't you?
Yeah, just make sure the same.
Yeah, about an inch like that.
Yeah.
All right, you want to mark it underneath? Like
Yeah, I
with a
do,
marker
but
or
this has
something?
got to come over this way.
Okay.
How does that look with a frame rail, parallelism wise?
Relatively parallel.
And these are the same.
Slightly out this side.
Think so?
Well, from his angle and the angle of the bike and everything.
Actually,
Okay.
that is off a little bit.
A little bit in the back. Well, the back is wider than the front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it could
That's
be.
why.
Okay, you want to let
That's
go for a sec? Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
You
Good.
got a can of paint?
Oh, magic marker.
I'd
We're just trying to figure out where the rosette wells are going to go.
And
And we'll have to realign it again anyways. So.
There. What do you think? One or like two or
hang
per
on, I
bar?
see what you're saying. Yeah, two.
What are you gonna guess at it?
Guesstimate.
I'm going to do my side and you're going to do your side.
Well, would the factory actually do very accurate spot welds?
There.
Yeah.
That they measured them?
They'd be perfect
As
every
long as
time.
they're good this way, it should be alright.
Yeah.
Okay, you want it somewhere in there, and in there.
And then you got to come in this way off of that because it sits.
Go up for that one. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. We'll just kind of guesstimate.
And if we're not 100% on it front to back, it's not the end of the world because those tabs have a little bit of play tip-wise.
Well, hopefully we won't have to tilt it. And here.
All right, you drill those out. I'll clean that up and get it ready to weld.
All right. We got the clamps on. He's just filling the rosette weld.
If that was a Harley, that would be a drip tray.
Okay, so obviously this project is not done yet, but we're getting there. I bumped these up last night, and we got one on either side. I still got to bend. We haven't decided exactly how we're going to go with this yet, but I know we're going to have at least this part of it. And I left on extra so I can either bend it or cut it, change my mind, do whatever we're going to do with it later. Yeah, there's definitely still some work involved, but right now we got something rolling. So hopefully, I'm hoping to see some more work on this soon. Alrighty, so we made some progress today. It's been a kind of a weekend thrash, but that's half the fun of this. Chris over here, he's got some work cut out for him. He's got to do a whole bunch of electrical stuff. There's still a pile more engineering to do, especially with the pedals, because we've got something planned for that one that I think is going to be, well...
It'll be entertaining at the very least.
Maybe the process of making it will be. hopefully for you guys. Anyways, we got a fair bit done. We got to load this thing up, and it's going back to his. He's got some work cut out for him. More stuff to do. Sorry you're not going to see that until it gets, his part of it gets finished, but I don't think it'll be a ton.
No. It won't be long, but we're probably looking a few months.
Oh yeah. But I think you got the tank, you got to cut yet. That might come back here for some massaging, metalworking. That could be entertaining. We'll see how that works out. Anyways, that's it for this one. I want to thank you guys for watching, for subscribing, and we will see you on the next one. Bye for now.
See you later.